Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and this one is definitely something I've been kind of slacking on. So this is my mid-year Buju setup, and this is the notebook I ended up going with. I ended up going with Notebook Therapy's Fox Tsuki collection, and even though the Amanda Rachel Lee notebook kind of did me some good justice in the first half of the year, I still wanted to go back to my tried and true of Notebook Therapy. I just really do enjoy their books. I really do like the quality, and there was something that felt a little bit lackluster with the Amanda Rachel Lee's notebooks, but they're not bad by any means. I believe it's more of like a preference if I had to be really honest. But yeah, I was super excited to get back into a Notebook Therapy book because I don't know, it made my heart super warm. And even though we kind of like flew by the very first page, I just did it really simple. I just put my name and the year and called it a day. I actually forgot how to do like calligraphy to the point where I doubted if I wrote my name right, which is really funny but sad but true, to be honest. I actually had my setup already pre-sketched weeks ago, and I mean like weeks ago, but I never got the chance to do it because I always felt really rushed in terms of time frame, because I really wanted to get my monthly setup videos out first before this one. And I originally wanted to do like a telephone pole end of summer sky theme. I don't know what the correct term for it is, but that's where I kind of went with. And originally it was just supposed to be like a blue sky, something that just screamed very summer like. When you look at it, it kind of screamed like it was too hot, that type of vibe, because where I live, even in August, quote unquote, is supposed to be a lot cooler. It's really not. It's actually still blazing hot. So I wanted to kind of capture that feeling. But as I was being delayed on doing the video, Notebook Therapy actually came out with like a golden hour collection, and it was all about like the sunsets and stuff. And I was like, okay, I think I can do this. I think I can change my color scheme. And also, I couldn't like wrap around my head that I forgot that Art in Foxes already did a theme very similar. I think it was like last September. I really loved how that looked, and I guess was inspired to do it for my setup because I couldn't imagine doing a whole month of the same thing. I think I'll get bored. So I ended up doing it my monthly setup, and like I said, I always go into it like blinded. I never like really do any themes because I'm impatient, and to me I feel like if I did that, I'll be wasting time that I don't have. So I just go straight into it, which it's like a really bad character flaw of me, but you know, hey, we live and we learn. At least when I first was doing this page, I was very scared. I didn't know how I wanted things to go about. Originally, I wanted to do the Tombow markers, and I tried my hardest to make them work on a separate paper, and it just did not work. It just looked horrible. The blending wasn't great, and because I kept layering the colors, it just made the page fray. It was horrible. So I ended up actually having to do gouache. I didn't want to, but it was the only way that I can get that really nice perfect blending of colors. The one thing I would say is, because I was very afraid of how it would turn out, I wish I added more color, like more saturation of the color, but at this point the paper started to warp, and that's where I stopped. I was like, it's good enough for what it is, let's not keep going. So I pretty much did a good mix of different mediums, which is the gouache, the Pigma markers, well, pens, and some Tombow markers. And I really liked the different play of mediums because it really gave it this like pop animated look from the page, which I really love, and it was unintentional, but I really love the end result. When it came to me deciding on what I wanted to incorporate in my second yearly setup, I honestly just ditched certain things that I didn't really need compared to my yearly setup. It was like a result of a couple things. One, I was super pressed for time. Two, I didn't want things that didn't really serve me and it was just there not being utilized. So I just made it very, like, I guess, more curated for what I needed at the moment, and I was pretty okay with that. At first I felt kind of guilty, but at the same time, when it comes to doing your bullet journal, it's really based on what you need and not what you see other people doing. So I really wanted to make that apparent when I did my setup. And it's weird to say that because I feel like everybody kind of falls in the phase of doing what everyone else is doing because that's the right way, or it's the way that majority of people are going. But I've been in this weird phase where I just want to do whatever I want. Even though I do film my videos of what I do in my bullet journal, I'll be honest, there's certain things that I do just for the sake of a video, which is very sad. And it's okay to realize it sooner than later. And I mean, it took me like 2 years to really understand that and realize it for myself. So I've been lately doing whatever I wanted to do, and I've been having really fun with it. Like for my August plan with me, I did a junk journal theme. I really love that. I would never have done that in the past, but I really enjoyed it. And then as I'm trying to set up for my September theme, which sounds crazy that I'm doing it, but I know myself, I don't have time for anything, so I have to do it in advance. I really love how I'm just going with the flow and kind of creating things as my brain just naturally comes up with it. And I've been really loving that process. It may not be like the most pre-planned thing I've ever done, but at least it works in my crazy brain. So I really love that aspect of just doing whatever I want, doing what Lindsay wants. So I want you guys to also feel that way when it comes to your bullet journals. Just do whatever works for you. Don't follow what the crowd is doing, because at the end of the day, you're just wasting time and wasting valuable bullet journal paper for things that may not serve you. Even if it's something where, you know, you don't do a monthly calendar and you just go straight into like your habit trackers and your weeklies and you call it a day, that still works for you. And that's what should matter, not what everyone else has. If you guys noticed, I already started using my bullet journal way before doing this video, because like I said, I was extremely delayed and set back from doing this video. But if you're curious, I actually started doing this right after I uploaded my August plan with me. Since I am still on vacation, my sole goal and purpose is to actually record as many videos as I can before I start getting way too busy. And I can't make any promises, but I'm gonna try and uploading the videos that I did pre-record on Sundays. I want to make it a goal to upload more often, and I know I say this all the time, but at least now that I have the time to do so, I want to try and upload on Sundays and see if that works best for you guys. if you guys have like a certain day where you actually have enough time to sit down and bullet journal, let me know, because for me, I always find more time like on Tuesdays and Wednesdays to do anything that I need in my life. But I know most people are available like on the weekends, which I wish I had that luxury. But yeah, let me know what day is your day to do anything down in the comments down below, because I'm actually really curious, because for me it's usually Tuesdays or Wednesdays, a little bit more on Wednesdays, which is so odd because it's right in the middle of the week and I feel like that's when people are the most busiest. But I don't know, I'm just curious. As I was setting up my bullet journal, I thought I had already pre-done my spreads, and I was really shocked when I started recording and realized there's nothing here but boxes. So this is one of the rare moments you see Lindsay kind of just like throw something on the fly. I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh, do I do just like washi tape? Do I paint? Do I, scrapbook, I guess? And I essentially wanted to give you guys an idea of maybe you may not like gouache, maybe painting is not your thing, or maybe your bullet journal GSM like paper isn't that thick to hold water. So this is a really nice, I guess, alternative to if you wanted to still create a very like scenic, soft cloud end of summer theme. You could just basically do the clouds, the birds, maybe a little bit of like sparkle here and there. That's what I did with the circles. I don't know the right word for it, but it's supposed to make it look very like sparkly and glistening. But yeah, you can actually just not do the painting. And for me, the colors I really focused on was more of a cool tone palette. So I ended up doing like a cool tone soft purple, a cool tone muted yellow. To me, it looks almost like a vanilla color. And then I tried to find something that could pull the purple and the yellow together, and that would be the pink or the peachy orange. Those were the original three colors I tried to make work if I was to have done the sunset with my Tombow markers, but it just didn't blend well. So at least this is a good insight of if painting is not your thing, you can still achieve it with these colors. It makes it actually look a lot softer and more, I guess, open to white space if you're more of the minimal type of person. But for me, I just wanted to keep these more for functionality and not so much artsy. Now for the right hand side, I really regret doing the pink because I felt like the pink just had too much of a presence and I ended up not liking it. So if there's one thing I do regret, it's definitely using this peachy pink. I could have incorporated somewhere else, but oh well, it's gonna stay because I'm way too lazy to change it. But on the left side, because I didn't really talk about it, I ended up carrying my themes at a glance just so I can see like an overview or a snapshot of all the themes that I've done for the last, I would say, 6 months of the year. And then on the right side, I actually ended up doing my pen pal letters type of spread. So it's just basically a page that I get to keep track of my pen pals, their addresses, and when I'm sending out a letter or when I'm receiving one, and if I'm actually going to be sending a package or not. So at the moment I have 3 pen pals, and I wanted to incorporate pen paling on my channel. And if you guys have any questions on how to even start pen paling, how did you even find a pen pal, I can make a separate video for that. because I was planning on actually doing a pen pal video, just more of like creating one and doing the whole process. But if you wanted me to talk more in detail with that, let me know down below, because that's something that I do plan on doing. I just not sure if I wanted to go full on detail on how I personally started pen paling, and if you guys were interested in that. By this point, after painting so much in this setup, I actually got more confidence in the color usage. So instead of being very dainty and careful where I was putting color, I just went in. I went full in. I wanted more of the color presence, so I basically created this huge picture of just a scene in the middle of the spreads, and there's a reason why I did that, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. But when it came to creating this portrait, I wanted to incorporate more of like layering or things that popped out, so it looks like there's more dimension to it. I ended up kind of achieving this by having the blades of grass kind of peek out of the borders, because I already had the clouds doing that, so it wasn't an element that was new to the picture. But I was using a lot of black at this point, and I will tell you now, my heart kind of stopped a few times, because black's not very forgiving if you mess up. So I ended up just taking it a little bit at a time. I ended up doing black wash instead of just a black marker or a fine liner, just because I was afraid of bleeding as much as that doesn't make any sense. With gouache, it's more of like a water activated paint, and so the black was already kind of on the drier side. I knew it wasn't going to move around or feather, so I kind of opted for that, and I unintentionally had the blades of grass kind of look almost like being shone on by the light. I don't know if that makes any sense, but pretty much in the center it's very light, and then it gets a bit darker towards the borders and on the telephone pole. I just kind of unintentionally manipulated light and where that kind of was being shown, and I did really eventually love this. Like, this ended up being my favorite scene that I ended up doing. Okay, so this is where I didn't realize that my camera stopped recording, so it never recorded the last ending for the video. But basically what I ended up doing is on the left side of the spread, I did a content ideas. Basically, it's like a brain dump where if I have any video ideas, I would just put it there. And then on the right side, I really didn't know what to do, so I ended up making it as a quote page, but you guys are more than able to put whatever you like. But I just wanted to keep the spread more for what I needed it for. But yeah, technology isn't the greatest. And here's my final flip through of my setup. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this theme, because I did, and I love how I unexpectedly changed it last minute just by my color palette. But is it me, or does the clouds kind of remind you of like golden vanilla ice cream? I don't know why that is, but my brain is just giving me ice cream moments. Well, until next time guys, bye.